All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. How's everybody? You don't sound too excited. My name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending the next 60 minutes with you this morning. We're going to go through a little bit about DuePoint, what the opportunity is all about that you've been invited to. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in around the country on our live stream. We usually have about 100, 200 people watching from their homes, right? So you don't all have to come to head office, but welcome to those who made it out. All right, so I'm going to go through the presentation. You're welcome to come speak to me after the presentation, ask any questions that you have after the presentation. Let's begin. DuePoint is a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company that's been running in South Africa for almost 70 years. We were founded in 1952, so we've been around for a very long time. That's Constantia's building in the background. Their head office is based just down the road from us in Randburg. That's their little orange logo. The FSP number that we operate under is that one that you see over there. You'll notice in the foyer above our water cooler, we've got all these certificates up on the wall. Go take a look at those. Those are our FSB licenses. We've got our FSP license, our long and short-term insurance license, our investment license on display. We've got our certification with the direct marketing and direct selling associations. That is a display of our credibility in this business, and it should play a fundamental part in assisting you in trusting the business that we're going to be speaking about, because that's obviously a fundamental step in any partnership, is that you trust the company that you're going to be looking at. The managers and the executives here at DuePoint are these characters you see up on the screen. Starting with the shortest and the least best looking person on the far left here, who's my boss. You see he's not at the office today, so I can say these things. Brendan Benfield, he's the senior executive, he's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because his family have been involved in insurance his entire life. His father's been involved in insurance for 50 years. His father's actually a doctor, a professor of insurance. He taught at Wits for 25 years. His father founded Clientele Life decades ago. His father founded the IFA, among a host of other financial businesses around the world. Brendan and his brother Stuart followed in their father's footsteps. They went on to found a business down the road called PMD, or Prime Meridian Direct. And Prime Meridian Direct has been very successful in the short-term insurance market. So we're very lucky to have Brendan leading this division. Tim Reynolds, he's got a lot of experience in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for about 15 years, a fairly senior position there, reported directly to the CEO and the board of executives. Him and Stacey, together they kind of manage the auditing, the accounting, and the regulatory aspects in our business. Stacey's got a lot of experience in auditing. She was with Deloitte all her working career. She worked here in South Africa as well as overseas in Luxembourg before she came back to South Africa. So these three are all registered chartered accountants. Then the non-accountants over here, Jane and myself. Jane's got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling, which is obviously key to our business, because even though we're an insurance company, our growth is very much dependent on our success in the referral or network marketing space. And Jane brings a lot of international experience with her to our business. Myself, I've been working in marketing and advertising pretty much all my career. I started my own company in the mid-90s. I know I look 21, but this was a very long time ago that I started my business. I was only 3 years old. No, I'm actually 40. So I started my business when I was about 23 years old in the digital space. That was when the internet was booming. You remember those modems that used to make a lot of noise on your table? That's when I started my business. The internet was booming. It was the new thing. Every company had to have an internet website. And that's when I got involved in that market. And I've been working in that industry, in that market for about, I ran that business for almost 20 years. I walked away from the company without a cent, unfortunately. And I'll touch on a little bit about what happened there as we get later deeper into the presentation. But these are some of the senior staff at DuePoint. We've got our client service staff. Some of them are here this morning. Our mandate as staff of DuePoint is to support you in this partnership. We want to collaborate with you towards your success, towards your effectiveness in this business, because as a company, we can only be profitable if our partners are being successful. And so we'll do everything to support you in this endeavor. So know that the business that you're going to be looking at is a credible business, been around for a very long time. The people, I hope, lend to the credibility of our business. You can go do a background check on us. There's our names. Go put us in Hello Peter. Go do a search on us on Facebook, see if we've been naughty ever in the past. I don't think anyone's been naughty. Maybe Stacey, she's young. We don't know what she's been up to. But you have to find trust in the business that we're going to be speaking about. So put your mind at ease, because I know there's a lot of schemes floating around South Africa, right? Everyone been exposed to a scheme in the room? Right? Okay, good. Honesty, right? So go make sure that you trust the business. We're not one of those schemes. Go do a background check on us. We're actually part of another company called Conduit Capital, which is listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. So go do as much investigating as you wish on us. So that's a little bit of background on us, on Constantia, the people here at DuePoint. This kind of part of the presentation, we've actually removed a couple of slides from this presentation, but this part of the presentation, we look at the driving factors that would lead people to coming to look for an entrepreneurial opportunity. We're all sitting here in this business presentation. We've got a whole bunch of people around the country that's tuned into the live stream, listening to this guy on the stage telling them about how you're going to spend more of your free time doing business instead of relaxing, right? Why? Why would we be looking at this? So we look at, as I said, some of the driving factors. Unfortunately, all the driving factors are very negative. So for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to probably depress you a little bit. I'm going to make you a little bit sad, right? But that's not my intent. My intent is to give us a very realistic kind of look at our circumstances that we find ourselves in. As much as we don't want to admit it, we've got to kind of admit that the economy is in a dismal state. It's not doing us any favors. We see the newspapers, nearly 10 million people unemployed. We've got an economy that's growing. We've been in a recession for the last 6 months, but now suddenly we're growing at 0.3%. Can you say the economy is growing when it's 0.3%? You shouldn't even tell people about that, right? You should just say 0. 0.3% is not going to do anyone favors. We see it in the fact that inflation is pretty high at the moment, right? Food inflation is quoted at 11%. It means food is doubling in price. Doubling in price every 8 years currently, which is a frightening statistic. We see it in the fact that most of us, I assume, are employees, that you haven't got a 5 to 7% increase in your salary for the last 7 years running. Anyone get that raise every single year? No one. Jeez, I've been giving this presentation for a long time. No one's ever put their hand up to that. I'm sure there must be one person that's got a raise in line with inflation. But that's just the circumstance we find ourselves in, right? And what's happening is that your salary is actually devaluing against what the cost of living is increasing by every year, right? We see it. We get a lot of statistics from the FSB. We get a lot of statistics from different economists. We keep, Tim, the accountants, they keep track of what's happening in the economy because it affects our business, sometimes positively because it leads people to here to look for something extra. But we see that people are really suffering. We see that 50% of people with debt in their lives, oh, there's a phone. Whoever phones that's going to come do the presentation. Right? But we see it in the fact that people are struggling because 50% of people that have debt currently in South Africa are under debt review. Do you know what that means? You know what happens when you're under debt review? It means the banks, the lenders come looking for you because you haven't paid your debt for more than 3 months in a row. That's 50% of South Africans are in that situation. People are not making it. At the end of the month, they are running out of money. There are more SMSs appearing on their phone that say debit order than income, right? You know what happens at the end of the month? You get that SMS. Only one lonely SMS saying your income's been paid. And for about 3 minutes, you're excited. Because then the 20 SMSs arrive saying debit order, debit order, debit order, debit order, debit order. And then you pray for about 10 minutes. Please let there be money left over before the SMSs finish, right? And this is the position that most South Africans find themselves in. So what we do, unfortunately, when we have this divide that's forming, this divide between what your salary is and what the cost of living is, we try to band-aid over this gap with debt. We're often criticized by economists that we engage in too much debt as South Africans, right? Have you heard that? Have you heard that South Africans have got too much debt? We need to start saving. We need to start looking at investments, right? And we'll engage in a plethora of different debt instruments. They come in all shapes and sizes. Credit cards, home loans, car loans, educational loans, personal loans, hire purchase for clothes, hire purchase for furniture. Now one of the big grocery retailers wants to say, oh, you can hire purchase food. They want to get that right, where you can buy food on credit at the store. Imagine how much trouble that's going to land you in. right? When the food you ate last year, you're still paying for today. That is bad, 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 bad news. Bad news. It paints this picture of what we're experiencing from a personal finance point of view, right? And there doesn't seem to be any remedy. And so we start engaging in these debt instruments just to try and get through the month. And we find ourselves in this debt cycle. You know the debt cycle because your eyes are focused on this debt cycle. Your mind is focused on this debt cycle. You're worried about the end of the month. Then the end of the year is coming up, right? We all experience the same thing at the end of the year. What happens at the end of the year? There's expectation placed on us. Travel, right? You've got to go visit family or you've got to take the kids on holiday. There's Christmas, right? The kids want Christmas presents. Maybe you want to spoil your spouse because it's been a tough year. And you spend all this money. And then January comes and there's stationery for the kids. There's school fees. Maybe school uniforms. They need new shoes because you haven't bought the kids new shoes in 4 years and you had to cut the fronts off so their toes can stick out. And then we suffer through January. And our employers do us a disservice by paying us early. Do you notice they pay you early? And then you think, I haven't been paid yet. And you wait and you wait and you know, oh, I have been paid. Look at the bank account. Oh, I've got no money left for January. And you find yourself in this annual debt cycle. And what happens is we take our eyes off of what's happening, or what's in store for us in future. Because we all have this day looming upon us. It's called retirement. Retirement is inevitable. Is anyone not going to retire here? You all think you're going to retire, but you're not. Because you're not going to be in a position to retire. Right? You're going to be out in the job market looking for a job again because you realize you haven't saved enough for retirement. You haven't saved enough because you haven't been in the position where you've got extra money left at the end of the month that you can put into investments or savings products. 98% of our population will get to retirement financially dependent. Dependent on who? Who are you going to be dependent on? Think about it. We all got different people we can depend on. I hope you're being nice to your children because you're going to depend on them when you get to 60, 65. Right? Cousins, family. You're going to have to downgrade your lifestyle so that you can survive on whatever you've put together for retirement. The statistics are frightening. 98% of us. The room's probably got close to 100 people here. There's 2 people in the room. 2 people in the room that are going to get to retirement financially independent. The rest of us have got tough decisions to make once we get there, right? And so this presentation is all about moving you out of that 98%, getting you to start focusing on beyond your debt problems, right? We all have debt problems. Doesn't matter how much money you earn. You could be earning 5,000 Rand a month. You could be earning 200,000 Rand a month, all in the same boat. Just bigger problems, right? For those with a bigger debt. Someone once said to me, he said, you know, you've got too many debt problems. What you need to do is get so much debt that you actually stop stressing about it. Imagine getting to that point where you think, there's no ways I'm going to pay this debt off, so I needn't even worry about it anymore. Don't do that, okay? So the presentation, the opportunity that we're going to be speaking about is about empowering you to become debt-free, really. So as a business, as an enterprise, we saw an opportunity in the market to create a business that would empower South Africans to aspire towards financial freedom, to do something extra so that they can earn something extra. And we've got 3 aspirations for the people that join this business. You can align yourself with our aspirations, you don't have to. But we've got 3 aspirations. We would love for you to aspire to becoming debt-free. This is something I never aspired to, personally. 20 years working, 20 years being in debt. I think I was in debt probably from the first or second year I was earning a salary. I think I've got a credit card. I've never gotten rid of the debt on the credit card ever in 20 years. And you start looking at things like buying cars or getting a home loan, and you kind of rest on the laurels of, well, I'll be in debt forever, right? Debt's always there. I'm always going to have credit card debt. Never did I aspire to becoming completely debt-free. And that's the aspiration that we have for the people that join this business. We want to see you become completely debt-free. The average South African has got almost 300,000 Rand of debt. Right? 300,000 Rand of debt for the average South African. We can sort that out. If you get engaged in this business, we can knock out that 300,000 Rand in debt within 2 years in this business. So that's our aspiration for you, become completely debt-free. Now just think what that feels like, right? We joked a little bit earlier, saying at the end of the month you get the 1 SMS for your income and then 20 SMSs in debit orders. Now imagine only getting 1 SMS for your income, 1 SMS from DuePoint saying we've paid you some money this month, and then no SMSs. Your phone's just quiet. Can you imagine that happening? Can you imagine owning the house that you live in, owning the car you drive, paying your kids' school fees 1 year up front? Can you be one of those parents? You know they got that at the form on the school. Anyone got kids? You go to the school, there's a form that says pay 1 year up front. Who ticks that box? Does anyone tick that box? We want you to be one of the parents that tick that box. You tick that box, you say, yes, I'm paying 1 year up front. That's what debt-free looks like. So we have that aspiration for you. Our second aspiration kind of leads on, because once you become debt-free, you're now in a position where you can actually start building wealth. Building wealth. Starting putting money in investments. Start creating assets that grow in value. That's where wealth is created, and that's what we want the people in this business to do. And then number 3 happens on its own. When you meet the first 2 aspirations, number 3 happens on its own, and that's just to be happier. Because that's really what we want, right? Unfortunately, money often leads to happiness. If you've got money problems, it can make your life terrible. We help you sort out your money problems. Hopefully, you'll be 95% closer to being happier 100% of the time. So those are the 3 aspirations we have for people in this business. How does this work? Our guests, how many guests are here for the first time? Just raise your hand quickly. Okay, wonderful. Welcome. So how does this work? Our guests this morning, you have the opportunity to join DuePoint. You actually contract with us, and when you contract with us, we call you wealth engineers, right? Nice term. As wealth engineers, we only expect one thing from you, that is for you to go out and build what we call channels of distribution, and we'll be speaking about channels of distribution forever in this business, because that's going to be your primary focus. Really what's happening is you're only going to be introducing people to DuePoint. That's the only activity really involved in this business. And by you introducing people to DuePoint through our online platform, we'll attempt to place product with those people that you introduce to us. And that's all that happens in this business. It's as simple as that, explained in 1 minute, 60 seconds, right, to explain this business. The benefit for you is that you get to create additional income. This is obvious. This is why you're here this morning. Right? The person that invited you said you want to earn more money. Do you need more money? I think if you ask any South African, they'll say, yes, please, I do need more money. Right? But the nature of the income that you produce here is one of recurring nature. Some people refer to this as passive income. My father refers to it as making money while you sleep. Did you know that was possible? To make money while you sleep? You sure? Or is this the first time you heard about this, making money while you sleep? What's going on here in this business? It's called passive income. It's the ability to free yourself of the constraint of being actively involved in generating income all the time. This is the reason I walked away from my business after 20 years. I walked away without a cent. I said to my business partners, take my shares. I don't want anything for them. I'm going to restart this business thing from scratch. 20 years, we put it down to education, right? Don't make me feel bad. I don't want to think I was a failure for 20 years. But after about the 10-year mark, I realized my business was in a position where we weren't creating recurring income. I ran a service-based business. So we had designers, we had programmers, we had account managers, salespeople, some admin staff, and every month we'd have to go out and chase business, right? This is what most of us do. Accountants, lawyers, doctors, plumbers, electricians, dentists. They're service-based people. Unless they're actually doing the work, they're not going to be earning anything. Right? Our business was exactly the same. So guess what happened in my business when everyone went on holiday in December? We generated 0 income. Did everyone expect a salary at the end of December? Yes, they did. Right? So we spent the whole year building up enough of a reserve so that we could survive through December and January. And I realized that I would have to work until I died, because we weren't creating an asset that had value that would pay me while I was on holiday or while I was retired. In this business, you're going to have the ability to create recurring income that will pay you beyond retirement. It might even pay you beyond your life. It'll pay generations after you, right? This is the beauty of creating an asset that has value. We harness the power of duplication. This again is leverage. This again is the ability to free yourself of the constraint of time. right? So when you go out and build these channels of distribution, you're going to go out and find people that are capable, that are resourceful, that are effective. And if you bring these people into the business with you, they're going to collaborate with you towards building an asset that pays out a greater recurring income. Okay? This business is flexi time. Now, this is a double-edged sword. On the one side, you think, oh, flexi time, I can do it when I feel like it. I can do it when I have spare time. But the other side of the sword says, well, if you want to be successful in this business, you have to commit time regularly, routinely. You've got to keep yourself accountable to the time in this business if you want to be successful. So at the end of this presentation, if DuePoint is something you want to engage with, at the same time decide how is DuePoint going to fit into your life. Right? Because if this is a business that's going to start generating real income for you, this is going to become part of your life forever. It might become part of your children's lives. Yes? So don't make the mistake of thinking this is like a New Year's resolution. It's like a hobby. I can make a little bit of money on the side. I've got 5 minutes here. I'm going to make some money over there. It doesn't work like that. You're going to have to commit routinely to this business, whether it's daily or weekly, whatever. You decide what that looks like. There's no startup capital. There's no registration fees in this business. Did anyone see boxes of product outside that you're going to go home with today? No, right? So we make this business risk-free. There's no qualifications or experience required. Did anyone bring their CVs with them today? Right, that's a great thing, right? Anyone can join this business. This business becomes accessible to almost everybody. You get to build an asset. Now, this is probably one of the most important benefits on this slide, because I'm going to say to you, you're going to have to sacrifice time in this business. No more TV, watching less sport, less time with your family, less time relaxing so that DuePoint can fit into your life. But know this business flies in the face of employment. It is the antithesis of what employment is, because I assume everyone here is employed. You're working for somebody else, building up someone else's asset, right? And you will spend 40, 45 years of your life doing that, only to be told that you're going on early retirement or you get retrenched. You don't get to partake in the upside of business. Does anyone get profit share? Anyone getting a dividend check every quarter from the business they work in? Right? You don't get to partake in the upside, but you have to partake in the downside. If the business suffers, you get to suffer too. You're the one that gets retrenched or retired early. In this business, the time that you're going to sacrifice into building up your channel of distribution is a legal asset that you have legal tender over. It means you own your channel of distribution. You can sell it one day. You can give it to your kids. You can cede it to your beneficiaries if something happens. You can get clever, put it in a family trust. So you should feel a lot better about sacrificing time into a business that you have ownership over. There's no selling involved. So we actually contract you out of selling. You're not allowed to go out and try to sell our products. You're not allowed to even talk about our products, really. The nature of our products are financial in nature. It means they're not tangible products. We don't have the problems that you face with tangible products. There's no stock keeping or taking. There's no distribution issues. Did anyone bring their uncle's bucky to load up all the product that you saw in reception? You didn't bring your uncle's bucky? Okay. You don't need to bring your uncle's bucky. It doesn't take up space at home. It doesn't have expiry dates on it. So we make this business as convenient as possible, as easy as possible to engage with. But it's easy to become a wealth engineer. It's a whole different story being successful. Your success is going to be predicated on your ability to go out and build these channels of distribution. Now, I'm going to show you what a channel of distribution looks like. It starts with you. You become a wealth engineer, right? You're going to go out and you're going to find these capable, resourceful people. Picture yourself as the MD, the CEO of your channel of distribution, because that's really what you are. You're going to go out, you're not just going to find someone off the street to join your business, because what you're doing is you're actually building your board of executives, right? Your board of executives. Who are you going to go find? You're going to go find the most resourceful, the most capable, the most effective people, people at your peer level, people that you can depend on, people that you want to work with. And when you go out and you find other people and they catch the vision of what DuePoint is, these people are going to do the same thing as you. They're going to go out and they're going to look for people to join this business. And so you have this power of duplication that starts taking place, this organic growth in your business that takes place. This is your ability to rid yourself of the time constraint, because your channel of distribution after some time can look like this. even though you only brought 5 people into the business. This is what your entire business looks like. This entire organogram is paying you for every single dot you see on the screen every single month. We want you to be in the position where you build up a sustainable enough business, and sustainable business is built on quality individuals. So in 3 to 5 years' time, you can have a business that's paying you every single month, and you have the luxury of deciding that you want to go on holiday for 3 months. Anyone feel like a 3-month holiday? Oh, I feel like a 3-month holiday, right? If you've got a business that's paying you recurring income, passive income, you have the opportunity to take a 3-month holiday, and DuePoint will pay you for every single month while you're still on holiday, because your business is running beyond the time constraints placed on yourself. And that's the goal of this business. That is the upside of entrepreneurship. This is why people start their own businesses, to get into this position, right? So this is what a channel of distribution looks like. You'll be forgiven if you arrived here, and we spoke about it a little bit at the beginning, if you arrived here thinking, oh, I've been invited to one of these get-rich-quick schemes. Did anyone tell their spouse, I'm going to a get-rich-quick scheme presentation this morning? You did? That's fine, you can be honest. You can be honest. We're not one of those. We're a 70-year-old insurance company. It doesn't get more boring than that, right? You saw the executives, 3 of them are chartered accountants. We've got very reputable people in this business, but I understand why people think that, but we're not one of those. I think sometimes people hope that they could get rich quickly, right? Do you wish that you could get rich quickly? Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist, I'm sorry to tell you. Success in any sphere of life doesn't come easily or quickly. Any sphere of life, right? You don't believe me? Think about it. Church, marriage, right? You want to be successful at marriage? Does that come easily? Being a successful parent, being a good parent, does that come easily? None of it. None of it. And this is exactly the same in this business. This is a very authentic business opportunity. If you've ever had the privilege of trying to start your own business, you will appreciate how difficult it is. 95% of businesses will close down in their first year of operation. Those are crazy stats. Why would anyone even try to start their businesses with odds like that, right? So you have to treat this like any other business. It requires all those things that you read about. Anyone read one of those leadership books? You know, these management consultancy books. They always talk about planning and strategy and goal setting and all of that. Welcome to business. That happens in this business too. You have to be prepared for that. You have to be prepared for the frustration of business. This is very much a people business. Have you realized how frustrating people are to deal with? I can hardly get on with my family. Now I've got to get on with 40,000 wealth engineers. Right? It is difficult. That is the downside of entrepreneurship. If you're willing to put up with the downside of entrepreneurship, you get to partake in the upside of entrepreneurship. Financial freedom, taking control of your income, going on a 3-month holiday and getting paid every single month while you're away. That's the beauty of entrepreneurship, right? So this is my disclaimer slide, my warning slide. Don't come to a presentation like this thinking you're going to be rich in 3 months. Never. Go play the lotto rather. Okay. So let's get on to how you benefit as a wealth engineer, how you actually earn money in this business. So there's 2 ways to benefit as a wealth engineer. Number 1 is through our returns program. Our returns program is what we pay you every month based on how much product you have in our business, right? And then the second way to benefit in this business is through our rewards program. So we'll speak about the rewards program a bit later. Let's start with the returns program. So we pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel every single month, right? Remember the first 5 people you brought into the business? Right? These people lie on your first point. They are 1 point away from you. On point 1, we actually pay you double the R27.50. You get paid R55 for every product you have on your first point every single month. It's recurring income. On point 2, exactly the same thing. These are people that your first pointers came and introduced to the business. You probably don't even know these people, but they lie on point 2, and on point 2, again, we pay you R55 for every person, every product on point 2 every single month. Again, recurring income. 2.3, and as your channel starts to grow and you've got product that starts being added into your channel further and further away from you, all the way down to point 8, you see the multiplier starts to drop. By point 8, we're paying you R1.10 for every product, but we don't limit you there. That's important to note. So you can grow your channel way beyond point 8. Way beyond point 8. If you're here for 30 years, your business is going to be way beyond point 8. We've got people at point 20 already after 18 months. Right? So we don't limit you here. From point 8 onwards into infinity, we will keep paying you 4% of that 27 Rand 50. We don't limit you on how big your channel can get to DuePoint. We don't limit you on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. There are no these rubbish things called year modes here in this business. What you put in is what you get out in this business, right? There's no limitation. The limitation is you. The accountability lies with you. How much time do you want to spend in this business? How long are you going to be in this business? It's up to you. So this is the mechanics of the returns. This is how we work out the returns. The next question we get is, well, how much money do people earn in this business? So we built this projection. We call it the path to success. Very fancy. Someone in marketing must have come up with that. But it is a projection over the next 60 months. It's based on a growth formula. The growth formula assumes, as a brand new wealth engineer, you can put 3 people into your business in the first month. Right? So October. Become a wealth engineer this morning. In October, you bring 3 people into this business. And then every consecutive month thereafter, November, December, January, into perpetuity, you bring 2 people every month. 2 people every month. It's not onerous, right? Does it sound difficult to bring 2 people every month? It's 1 person every 2 weeks. If you can do that in this business, you can expect to be earning about 2,500 Rand after 6 months. Oh, the look of bitter disappointment. I drove all the way to Bryanston to be told 2,500 Rand after 6 months of working. Do you think he'll notice if I walk out the presentation now? We make the mistake of thinking like consumers. Like spenders. I do the same thing. I catch myself thinking like that every single day of my life. Right? We think like spenders. I say 2,500 Rand. You think, what's 2,500 Rand going to buy me? There's no wealth with 2,500 Rand. And maybe buy groceries for 4 days. Maybe I can buy a pair of new shoes once a month or go out for a nice lunch with my friends. That's it. But let me change your perception of money. Because it's the wrong way to think. Don't think like consumers. We're here to build wealth. Right? So I'm going to teach you how to think like someone who's looking to build wealth. 2,500 Rand in recurring income. It's not once-off income, it's recurring income. 2,500 Rand. Remember I said to you at the beginning, let's pay our debt off as quickly as possible. Let's get to debt-free status, right? So here's an example of someone with a lot of debt. They've got R1 million in debt. They went and found a nice little townhouse, a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 60 square meter townhouse here in Bryanston for R1 million. They didn't have the cash. They went to the bank. The bank said, yeah, I'll loan you the money. You're going to pay me back over the next 20 years, right? Because that's all you can afford on your salary. So I'm 40. I'm going to finish paying this house off when I'm 60. I'm going to be paying back the bank about 11,500 Rand a month at the current interest rate. Right? And that's going to fluctuate. But I'm paying back 11,500 Rand. I joined DuePoint 6 months later with some success at DuePoint. I'm earning 2,500 Rand. And I do the very boring thing. Typical accountant thing, to pay my debt off sooner, right? It's boring to put money into debt. I've got nothing to show for it, right? No new shoes, no nice handbag, no nice lunch. But I do it. I put the 2,500 Rand into my bond as an additional payment. What is the net effect of that? Instead of waiting 20 years to pay this house off, I pay it off in 11 and a half years. I pay it off at the age of 51. I'm now a homeowner. Do you know how much money that saves me in repayments? It saves me 1 million Rand in hard, cold cash. But we don't look past the end of the month. We don't. I say 2,500 Rand, you think, that's not a lot of money. 2,500 Rand after 6 months of work. We don't look past the debt problems that we have. You have to make the mature decision of going, this is what I want in 11 years' time. In 11 years' time only can you look back and go, I finally paid my house off. Now you've got an extra 14,000 Rand that you're putting into your retirement savings. For the next 8.5 years, you can put extra 14,000 a month into your retirement savings. You saved yourself R1 million. That's 6 months away. After 12 months, you're earning in excess of 100,000 Rand annually in recurring income. Anyone expecting a 100,000 Rand bonus here at the end of the year? No one. I've got a poor audience today. Right? Because we're dependent. The bonus is dependent on the economy. The company is not doing so well. We can't give you a 5% increase in March. The economy, we're suffering. We'll give you 2%. And then we have to toy to get 5%. Right? We've got to get violent to get the 5-6%. It's 12 months away. 3 plus 2. Remember, you're bringing in 2 people every single month. 2 people every single month. It'll get you to 30,000 Rand a month after 24 months. Now we're talking, right? Now you're a little more interested? 30,000 a month after 24 months? But can you do it for 24 months? We keep going. After 36 months, you're close to 50,000 Rand a month. Let's look at the debt example again. Yeah, at the 30-month mark, you're earning about 36,000 Rand. You know what you can do with 36,000 Rand? You can buy a new 911 Porsche GTS. Can't buy it cash. You've got to hire purchase it, unfortunately. But that's what you can get for 36,000 Rand. Or you can do the boring thing of putting it into your bond. I'd much rather go with the Porsche, to be honest. But we've got to make a mature decision. We put it into a bond. Here's an example of someone with a 5 million Rand bond. You put 36,000 Rand as an additional payment into your 5 million Rand bond, you'll become a homeowner in less than 7 years. In less than 7 years, I'm 40, at 47. Okay, let me take another 3 years. I'll take another 3 years. So I'm 43. By the age of 50, I've paid off a 5 million Rand house. I buy a second house, right? We are here to build wealth. Build wealth, invest our money, not spend it on Porsches. By the age of 57, I've paid off my second 5 million Rand house. I buy a third house. At the age of 63, 64, I paid off my third 5 million Rand house. Now I'm ready to retire. Brendan can say, we're tired of you doing presentations, you must go. I will go happily, because I own 15 million Rand in property assets. I'm living in my 5 million Rand house. I'm renting out my other 2 houses for 70,000 Rand a month in passive income. I'm sitting at home enjoying my retirement while 70,000 Rand comes into my bank account every single month. Plus what DuePoint's paying me. Because when I become retired, DuePoint doesn't stop paying me. Right? I'm still strong. 63. My dad's 73. He's just signed a 20-year contract with his employer. Even my dad was shocked. He only wanted a 10-year contract. They offered him a 20-year contract. He thought, sure, I'm working till 93. Right? This business isn't affected by retirement or your age because you're running your own channel of distribution. You keep going. 48 months. We're close to 70,000 Rand a month. After 60 months, a short 5 years, you're earning for yourself in excess of 1 million Rand in recurring annual income. Imagine taking home an extra 1 million Rand a year, over and above your salary. At what stage of this path to success can you tell your boss what you really think of him or her? Right? You want to talk about freedom? That's freedom, when you can tell your boss what you think about them and not have to worry about the repercussion. Yeah? But this is all academic. This is just theory. This is something the accountants came up with. Growth formula, 3 plus 2, bring 2 people in every consecutive month. Doesn't seem too onerous. But you realize that your income has the ability to go up every single month. Right? Where we're begging for 5%, 6% a year. So because it's academic, you can certainly do less. The 3 plus 2 is just an example. This is just an example. You can do less than 3 plus 2. You can treat this like a New Year's resolution. You can make the mistake of thinking this is like a hobby. You don't do planning and strategy and goal setting and meeting with your team regularly. Man, I'm not here to do that. I'm here just to earn money. And you'll become very quickly part of the 0 plus 0 club in this business. There is a big 0 plus 0 club in the business. Guess how much recurring income the 0 plus 0 club earns after 60 months? 0, right? But if you want to do more than 3 plus 2, you can. You realize that too, right? That's the other side. You can do more than 3 plus 2. But you make that decision. I don't make that decision for you. You decide you want more than 3 plus 2. And we showcase wealth engineers, new wealth engineers, every single month. They come up onto stage and they tell us about their experience, their stories of having joined DuePoint and having been in the position to create an additional income stream for themselves. So Sifiso is from Joburg. He joined at the end of April. Within 30 days, he was making 715 Rand a month Did he turn his nose up at 715 Rand a month? Did he think, I've worked a whole month only earning 715 Rand a month? This business doesn't work, I'm walking away. No, he carried on. 90 days later, earning nearly 4,000 Rand a month. In the middle of last month, he was already at 10,000 Rand a month. Do you think Sifiso cares that he's only getting a 5%, 7% raise in his salary every month, when his business on the side, his flexi-time business, is going up more than double every month? Here's Reinhold and Rumbi. Similar. Joined middle of April, 1,600 Rand within 30 days, right? Working as a team, that's great. 5,000 Rand after 90 days. Let me give you some context again, because don't make the mistake of thinking like a spender, like a consumer. How much money do you have to have in the bank to earn 5,000 Rand a month, right? Because this is the question you're going to have to ask yourself when you get to retirement. If you get to retirement, you're going to have to go, look, this is how much money I saved in my retirement fund. The money that I saved in my retirement fund is going to pay out an income to me every month. How much money do you have to have sitting in an investment to pay yourself out 5,000 Rand a month? Does anyone even know the answer to that question? The wealth engineers know it, so don't answer. You need to have 1 million Rand sitting in a cash investment to pay yourself out 5,000 Rand a month. Reinhold and Rumbi created the equivalent of 1 million Rand sitting in the bank in the space of 90 days. Do you know how long it'll take you to save 1 million Rand? If you decide to save 800 Rand a month, right? So we've got any people under the age of 25 in the audience? Anyone under the age of 25? No one? We've got pensioners in the audience? Great. Okay. So we've got about 5 people here, right? You have this beautiful gift of time. You might not realize it now. When you get to 40, you will realize it. But you have this beautiful gift of time. If you put 800 Rand a month away for the next 40 years, and that 800 Rand contribution increases in line with inflation every year, by the time you get to 60 to 65, you will have 1 million Rand sitting in your bank account. And that 1 million Rand will pay you out 5,000 Rand a month. Reinhold and Rumbi did it in 90 days. Decide, do you want to do it in 40 years, or do you want to do it in 90 days? Let me ask you another question. Put your hand up if you're currently saving towards more than 1 million Rand for your retirement fund. Let me ask you again. Put your hand up if you're saving towards more than 1 million Rand currently in your retirement fund. No one! I hope every single person joins here. No one's allowed to leave here without joining and starting to work. You need to work. I'm not even joking. Can anyone survive on 5,000 Rand a month? Everyone's joining. Everyone. 10,000 Rand a month by the middle of next month. Roelof and Marsha, they joined us the day we launched this business on the 2nd of February. It was a Saturday, we launched the business. Their income has gone up every single month. Every single month. In July, they got an SMS, DuePoint has paid you 76,000 Rand. Their flexi-time job, their job on the side. We've got hundreds of wealth engineers. More and more wealth engineers every single day that are creating a recurring income for themselves in this business. You don't think this business works? You've got bigger problems than just joining a new business. Then you can leave, I think, if you don't see that. This business works, but you have to make it work. I can't make it work for you. The platform is exactly the same for every single person that joins this business. I do not care whether you got matric or you don't have matric, whether you got corporate experience, you don't have corporate experience, whether you got a degree or not. The system is the same for everyone. It requires work. That's all it requires. Nothing more than that. So this is our returns program. That's what we pay wealth engineers at the end of every single month, right? The second way to benefit, remember, I said, was through our rewards program. So this is the rewards program. It works like this. Our guests here this morning, you become wealth engineers, you're going to start doing wealth engineer things, like coming to presentations. Well, you're going to sit through this presentation many times, right? You're going to come to presentations. You're going to bring guests with you. You're going to log into your dashboard. You're going to be checking your business. You're going to be watching training, personal development. When you do all these things, we give you something called XP. It stands for experience points, right? So coming to a presentation, you get 250 XP. Coming to a presentation. You bring a guest, every guest you bring, you get another 250 XP. You can't swap the XP for Bitcoin or Rands or Zim dollars. There's no monetary value in XP. It's purely an indicator to us of how active you are in this business. And when you start collecting more XP and your business, your channel starts to grow in terms of product, you get to enjoy rewards, right? So we reward you along the way for your success. So this is our rewards table. If you join this morning, you'll start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. And you see you're not even important to us because we don't even put you on the screen. Right? You have to get to rank 1. But all you need to get to rank 1 is 1,000 XP, 4 products in your qualified channel, and bang, you rank 1. You're on the board. You're in the game. And when you get to rank 1, we reward you with an extra 55 Rand on top of the return that we're paying you at the end of the month. And this is once off. You don't get this every month. This is just once off. You get to rank 1, you get 55 Rand. You get to rank 2, we give you 100 Rand. And so as you start to rank up, you see the rewards get bigger and better. There's 20,000 Rand. There's the 50,000 Rand at rank 10 that Roelof and Marsha got in July, right? We give tools away to our wealth engineers in this process, in this rewards program, that help them build their channel more effectively, faster. So here's Patrick and Pumi. Last year they hit rank 5. They got this little Lightning USB drive. A great little device because it plugs into anything. That plugs into anything. It doesn't matter whether you've got Android, Apple, banana, tablet, phone, TV, computer, laptop. It plugs into anything. More importantly, we've got our video collateral on there. We've got all our presentations, our testimonials. Everything's on that stick so that Patrick and Pumi can show people the DuePoint opportunity regardless of who's around them, what device they have on them, right? At rank 7, we get these premium business cards manufactured. They cost us 12,500 Rand for every pair that we do. If you go out and try to get one set manufactured on your own, you're going to be paying about 22,000 Rand for 1,000 cards. We had to get them manufactured in the US of A, right? But fortunately, we found an old man in the Western Cape who can do them. Only person in the whole country that does gold gilding, which means the edges are gilded in gold. Remember Bibles in the old days? They used to get gold gilded, right? That process. It's the same process. Gold foil on the sides. The logo gets embossed in gold. There's no ink on this business card. Why would we spend so much money on business cards? Because this business relies on first impressions and credibility. When you go out and tell people, you tell some person, I've got this wonderful opportunity for you with a business called DuePoint, and they'll be like, I've never heard DuePoint. Who's DuePoint? But when you put a 22,000 Rand business card in their hand and say, this is the business I'm speaking about, their business card is 50 times more expensive than the one they've got in their wallet, guess what happens to your credibility? It goes up. Your first impression suddenly goes up. And this person will suddenly give you a lot more time to explain what DuePoint's all about, right? These are tools to help you be more effective. At rank 9, we take our wealth engineers and their families, business class, to a 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip to our international conference, not once off. At rank 9, this is not a once-off reward. You get to enjoy this every single year with DuePoint for the rest of your life. Think about that. Some people just think, oh, that sounds like a nice holiday. You don't even understand the benefit that your children will derive from traveling overseas business class to a 5-star luxury resort every single year. You want to talk about the psychology around that? Your children will suddenly have a lot more exposure to the world. Tolerance for different cultures goes up. Tolerance for other people. Right? Self-confidence goes up. You must see the list of benefits for traveling internationally with children. It's unbelievable, right? And this they get to enjoy every single year. You know what happens when you fly business class every single year? After about your 3rd time, you start to walk past economy class like this. That's what happens. Anyone flown business class before? Anyone business class flyers in the audience? Not even one. Oh, you guys don't know what you're missing. I flew business class by accident once. 20 years ago, I was about 21 years of age. I'd gone to London, and I was flying back from London on Virgin Atlantic. It was called Virgin Atlantic in those days. And I got to the airport early at Heathrow, and they said to me, Mr. van der Bijl, I'm very sorry, but we've overbooked the flights. And I thought, oh my word, they're going to put me in a hotel and ask me to fly tomorrow. Sir, do you really mind if we bump you up to upper class on your flight back to Joburg? Yes, please. They give you pajamas. The chair goes flat like a bed. They offer you champagne and orange juice when you get on board. The captain comes to say hello to you. When I got to Joburg, I vowed to myself, never, never, never again will I fly economy. Until I phoned and asked how much business class costs. I've been flying economy ever since. It is an awesome experience. So we have a video. This video is actual footage of the resort that we're going to. So you can go Google it. Go Google the Western Turtle Bay. It is one of the premium 5-star resorts in Mauritius. Take a look. Imagine your toes in the sand on this trip.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
How does that look? Huh? Look okay? Brendan's been to this resort. He knows all about it. Why don't you turn the lights on for us there? If you can get to rank 1, you can get to rank 9. But you need to get excited about rank 1. Can you get excited about rank 1? 55 Rand? Oh, you're lying to me straight to my face. You have to. You've got to change your mindset, right? You've got to be that determined to get to rank 1, that excited to get to rank 1, 55 Rand. Because the activity to get to rank 1 is exactly the same activity all the way through to rank 9. The activity doesn't change. You're still going to be building channels of distribution. Nothing changes up until rank 9, right? At rank 11, we spend R250,000 Rand on a brand new car for the wealth engineer. We pay for it cash and we deliver it to the wealth engineer. You just make sure the insurance is ready and that you can afford fuel. That's all you have to do. That's the only side of your side of the bargain, right? But there's no T's and C's. You don't get to keep the car for a month or a year and then we take it back. The car is yours. No debit order at the end of the month. Do you see by rank 11, you're going to be a lot closer to becoming debt-free. Really to becoming debt-free. You're earning, at this stage, you're probably earning about 30 to 40,000 Rand a month. You're driving around in a car that you never had to buy. You're going on a business class overseas trip every single year, all expenses paid. Please tell me you're going to be closer to becoming debt-free. This is rank 11. So this is our rewards program. You saw that the table went down to rank 20. We've already designed the program up to rank 28. We just couldn't fit the last 8 ranks on there. What happens at rank 28 if you get a car at rank 11? Do you see that we're in it for the long term, right? When we design up to rank 28, we're thinking about the next 20, 30 years for our wealth engineers in this business. But unfortunately, 80% of you will give up before month 3. Do you realize that? 80% of you will give up before even month 3. It's too difficult. The decision is always you. So there's a third way to benefit as a wealth engineer. We call it a wealth quest, this little pink WQ. It is a challenge that we issue our wealth engineers every single month. So it's a different incentive every month. This month, October, is called Explosive Growth. The challenge is to bring 7 new wealth engineers into your first point in the month of October. Get 2 of them qualified. Qualified means that they will have 3 people each for themselves. And if you can assist them and support them in doing that, with the 7 new people, everyone pays in the month of October successfully, you will have an Apple iPhone and 2,000 XP in your hands before the end of next month. You want to take it a step further, our more experienced wealth engineers, you'll have the opportunity to go find 3 wealth engineers that have cancelled, fallen by the wayside. They disappeared out the system. They were one of those 80%, right, that didn't recognize the value of this business. If you can get them to come back into the business, right, 3 of them, in the month of October, you can get an extra 3,000 Rand on top of the iPhone, on top of the 2,000 XP. Go for it. What else do you need? What else do you need? We're going to ask the question, how does DuePoint afford all of this? Right? So this slide illustrates our business model. This is traditional business, like Prime Meridian down the road, right? Like most insurance companies. They will spend a lot of money on client acquisition through marketing and advertising. Right? And we get exposed to that on a daily basis, so you know what I'm talking about. DuePoint doesn't do any advertising. We don't do a stitch of marketing. We don't spend a cent on any of that. We rely on our wealth engineers to go out and tell people about DuePoint. So we don't spend the billions that the insurance industry spends on client acquisition. We take that portion of our premium and we pay it to our wealth engineers in the form of these returns, the rewards, and the wealth quests that we do. Right? Make sense? Okay, let's talk about our products. We've got 3 products. They are financial in nature. They all have financial benefit to them. So they speak into our lives with the issues that we have from a personal finance point of view. So the first product is an investment product. It is called the Access Wealth Plan. It is made up of 2 parts. So for 299 Rand a month, 100 Rand will go into a tax-free investment account in your name. It sits with Sanlam, the biggest investment house in the country. It is not a notice or a fixed deposit, which means you can draw out your investment at any stage. Right? There's no restrictions. You can draw it out. It takes us about 72 hours to process, but you can draw it out. The second part of the Access Wealth Plan is a little bit of insurance. It's 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. So this plan is made up of 2 products, the investment and the insurance product for 299 Rand a month. This is our investment product, Access Wealth, product number 1. Product number 2 is called Wealth Guard. This is purely insurance, so it's only insurance. It's 274 Rand a month, but this time you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover, right? So the beauty of our personal accident cover in this product and in Access Wealth is that we don't profile you from a risk point of view. This is not life insurance. Anyone go for life insurance? They want to do an autopsy on you before they tell you what your premium is, right? We don't do that. We don't send a nurse to do bloods. We don't want to know about your entire medical history because we don't profile you from a health risk point of view, which means that anyone over the age of 18 can take out this product regardless of their health or age. You can be 70 years old. You can be diabetic. It's not going to affect your premium. Your premium will remain 274, and the cover that you receive will remain 1.1 million Rand. Okay? So this is our insurance product, Wealth Guard. The third product is called Wealth Points. This product aims to save us money on the money that we spend every month anyway, right? It's here to help you bring down your cost of living expenses. So for 274 Rand a month, you get to enjoy the discounts that we have with a list of suppliers that we've added to this program. So I know we're spending a fortune on groceries. a fortune on groceries every month. Look, we've got a whole bunch of retailers there. Yuppie Chef, Hershey's, ShopRite, Checkers, Take a Lot. You start spending there, you will save between 2.5% to 5% on your entire spend every time you spend with those retailers. Always on Wi-Fi data. This business is driven on data, right? If you snoop with your data, this is not the business for you. It's not, unfortunately. So we've got always on Wi-Fi data. They've got 2,500 hotspots around the country. 36 Rand for a gig of data. That's a third of their normal price that they're giving to our WealthPoint members. We've got Eagle Ford. We've got the Entertainer. Entertainer's a little app that runs on your phone. 1.3 million rands worth of buy one, get one free vouchers. Awesome. Access to restaurants, beauty spas, hotels around the world. It's pretty much half price off of everything. We've got a restaurant across the road here, Juniper's, that's on that Entertainer. You can go buy a fillet steak there. One fillet steak, 250 grams, 170 Rand. It's probably gone up because meat's going up every week, right? You get the second fillet steak for free in one sitting. Awesome product. So if you're looking for a product with immediate benefit, WealthPoints is the way to go. If you have any questions, our products are straightforward, I promise you. There are no hidden T's and C's. We've built the products to be as straightforward as possible, but if you have any questions around the products, come speak to me afterwards. The decision slide. We are kind of near the end. What is the decision we need to make? I really don't like this slide. I'm like, if you haven't decided whether you're in or out in this business by now, what am I going to say now that's going to convince you? Right? We spoke about all the negative driving factors about what we experience, our circumstances we find ourselves in. I hope I've enlightened you to what retirement looks like for the majority of this room. Maybe we can all get together and build a hostel together and sell our houses, and then we can survive on the 3,000 Rand a month we're going to have when we get to retirement. No, we want to move you out of that circumstance. We want to move you from the 98% to the 2%. Start taking control over your income. Who cares what the economy is doing? Do you want to be March, April, end of financial year for your company, expecting, what are you expecting? You're going to be, you know how it works, right? When you work for somebody else, there's whisperings in the hall. Do you think we're going to get a raise this year? Right, speak to the HR people. We're going to get a raise this year. Oh, I don't know. They're still, the accountants are still wrapping up financial year. Let's wait. Everyone's going to get 2% increase. 2%! Oros just went up from 27 Rand to 41 Rand. What must I do with 2% increase? Right? I don't want you to stress about rubbish like that. I want you to be free of that. You go, my salary went up 2%. My DuePoint business went up 100% in a month. That's what I want you to be doing. It requires hard work. I told you, 80% of you are going to fall away. You're not going to be able to keep up. Right? I do a business training session called The First 30 Days. So all our new wealth engineers, you go make sure you watch that video first before you do anything. The first 30 days in this business, I talk about my Ironman experience. It's difficult. You want to do something, you want to achieve something that seems insurmountable, it is difficult. You need to decide, are you going to be one of these people that endure, or are you just going to be one of the percentage that just fall out with the majority? 80% of you, it's too much. 20% of you will maybe get to 6 months. 5% of you will get beyond a year. And there'll be people like Patrick and Pumi and Rulof within 18 months earning 30, 40,000, up to 70,000 in a month. That can be you before the end of the next 24 months, right? Do it. There's nothing stopping you. You're the only person stopping yourself. No one else. Don't listen to what everyone else has to say. So to get started, very easy. Make sure you read our code of conduct. It is our contract with you. It defines what you can and cannot do. No one reads this thing. Be one of the people that read it. Come on. Read it. You register as a wealth engineer, and then you need to start applying yourself to your channel, to your business. This is a business like any other business. The boring things of personal development, training. We don't have that much training. We've got 6, 7 videos in our basic series that tells you everything about this business, right? Or you can go study law at university for 7 years and then try to find a job with the other 10 million people looking for a job. Do you see the stark contrast, right? You go spend years, the amount of money you spend at varsity to come into the workplace and say, oh, sorry, there are no jobs. Ridiculous. I'm asking you, go watch 7 hours of training to find out about this business that you're engaging with. Set goals. You have to have goals. have a crazy goal that seems like you'll never get there. A crazy goal. Who thought, oh, R1 million in recurring income? That's unrealistic. Who thought that? Think you can get to R1 million a year in recurring income? Have that huge goal. And then have your short-term goals that you can get to every few months to keep you going. Prepare a plan. You have to have a plan. This is the beauty of being human, right? Is that you can attempt something, and when it goes wrong, you can figure out why it went wrong and do it better, right? But you always have that decision. Am I going to do it better, or am I going to give up? 80% of you are going to say, I want to give up. 20% of you say, I'm going to do it better this time. I'm going to do it better. We've got lots of wealth engineers that have spent an inordinate amount of time in this business and failed. A year in this business and failed. Their businesses just fall apart because they're bringing in poor quality. But a lot of those wealth engineers said to me, I'm going to do it differently this year. And they do it differently. And they keep going. And then start talking to people. The basics of this business is just going out and telling people about DuePoint. So this is how you get started. Go watch that video. First 30 days of being a wealth engineer. We've got merchandisers. It's not a profit center for us. These are tools for you to help you be more effective in this business. Please consider getting business cards. Like I said, this business is very much built on credibility and first impressions initially, right? People haven't heard of DuePoint. So when you go propose a business opportunity, at least have business cards. I don't trust anyone that comes tells me about their services or their businesses and don't have business cards. I'm like, you're a joke, man. Right? It's the basics of business. I don't have to tell you this. Get the business cards. When you get to rank 7, you'll get the fancy black ones. But don't discriminate. Get the white ones first. All right? USB sticks, very convenient. Our last silver USB sticks are available. There's, I think, did Jane say there's 10 left or 100 left? But there's only a few left of these USB sticks, and then the price goes up. So if you want USB sticks, get the last remaining ones at, I think, 150 Rand. They've got all our videos on there. So if you don't want to use data, if you snoop on your data, get the USB sticks. It's going to help you. Those little pins that you see in the top left corner there represent people that are earning money at DuePoint, the people that are on the board, the people that are on rank 1 and beyond. So when you go speak to someone and you ask for advice, or the person that you introduced doesn't have a pin, you probably want to go ask advice from someone that does have a pin. And when you get on the board, when you get to rank 1, you make sure you buy that pin, right? You wear it with pride. You show people, I know what I'm doing in this business. I'm on my way to rank 28. Get the pin. We've got power banks, pens, notebooks, and the caps, right? All the merchandise is on display. The pricing's on the counter. We've got a new mobile app that we've launched, that we released in the last couple of weeks. So make sure that you download the mobile app once you become a wealth engineer. Go to your profile page and update your photo. So take a photo of yourself. You get 1,000 XP the moment you update your photo. So you're thinking, how do I get to rank 1? How do I get 1,000 XP? 5 minutes from now, you can have 1,000 XP. That quickly, right? So take a photo. And none of these funny photos that I see on Facebook. No duck lips, angle, sunglasses on. It's a passport photo with a smile. That's what you want to do, right? Like a LinkedIn photo. And then we've got the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've got about 500 videos on the YouTube channel. Fortunately, it's all categorized beautifully, so you can go look at testimonies or intro presentations, Throwdown Thursdays, training, whatever you want to do. It'll tell you every time we have a live stream. It tells you every time we load a new video. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. Some don'ts. So this is a slide we've had to put up because people don't read the code of conduct, and now I've got to put up a slide and shout at all the wealth engineers, right? So what you cannot do as a wealth engineer. You can't become a wealth engineer if you cannot afford it. Does that not go without saying? Right? I'm not here to make the broke people even broker. Right? This business is not for everybody. I'm here to empower a certain category of people in South Africa. Once we are empowered and we're making money for ourselves, then you can go help people that need charity. This is not a charity business, right? If you cannot afford the product, this business is not for you. If you don't have access to the internet, I've touched on it a number of times already, you need data in this business. We've partnered with Always On. You need data in this business. You need an email address. You need to know what's going on with regards to the internet. If you're a gogo without an email address, you don't know what a smartphone is, this business is not for you. You're going to struggle in this business. Everything that we do here is data and internet driven. There are no brochures. There are no printed application forms. None of that. This is 21st century business, right? You struggle with transport. This business is one-on-one, relationship. Even though we've invested so much in technology, this is still a relationship-based, face-to-face business. That's where business is carried out. I've got a friend who lives in New York. He tries to do business remotely, right? Because he's got clients in Hong Kong, clients there. He wishes he could just do business on Skype. You cannot do business online. Business happens face-to-face. It's about personal relationships, and unfortunately, you need access to transport to do that. You're going to have to meet with the people that you bring into your business every now and again. Come to head office. You know, wherever you are around the country, it requires a little bit of transport. Don't ever complete a DuePoint application form on behalf of somebody else. This is not only in contravention to our code of conduct, but also common law. You are being a fraudster if you write down someone's details and then go do the online application for them later. That will end you in jail. There are many jail cells very close to Bryanston. I've got a big boot. I can put you in the boot, take you to the jail. Right? Don't do that. I saw it happening in front of me the other day after the slide was put up. Don't do that, please. People must fill out their own application forms. Don't add a direct family member into your business. You cannot do this. We call this stacking. Unfortunately, there's too much manipulation that happens. So we've made this rule called anti-stacking. It prevents you from putting family members that are in the same household as you into your business, right? So if you've got kids or you've got parents or cousins, you live in the same household, that cannot be in your business. If you've got kids or parents that live in another house, a different address, different bank accounts, different family, right? They can be in your business. But if they're in your household, they cannot be in your business. Don't start your own DuePoint Facebook page. This is what makes me cry sometimes in my sleep. I have nightmares about this because every single day there's a company that reports to us about who started a Facebook page. You immediately become suspended, right? Because of contravention of a code of conduct, which you should have read. And because you diminish the brand that we've spent so much money and effort building. When you walk into this business, when you're exposed to DuePoint, do you not see where the brand positioning is? It is up there. It is at private bank level. And then some person goes and starts their own Facebook page calling themselves DuePoint Rustenburg with their duck face selfies, right? And all these funny pictures and trying to do their own DuePoint designs. What does that do to the brand that we've created? It diminishes it. You diminish the own company that you're trying to represent. So don't start a Facebook page. Don't try to advertise DuePoint on Facebook. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Then the last one, don't send a lead to DuePoint. So don't send anyone here to our head office unaccompanied. Like I said, this business is about personal relationship. You look after the person that you introduce to this business, right? Value them. Don't send them to our head office and say, oh, don't worry, they'll look after you when you get to their office. Do you know what happens when they arrive here and they say, oh, someone just sent me? They say, you find that person. We're not here to help you, right? That's your responsibility. That's where you guys do the work. We don't do that work. I stand on the stage. I do everything from this point of view, not that side of things. So don't do that to us. That's it, guys. We've got 47 days left till the 1st of December. Because I know on the 1st of December, everyone goes into holiday mode, right? Pusa Thursday becomes every day in December. So I want you to work as hard as possible in the next 47 days. Our wealth engineers, it's your opportunity. Get stuck in the next 47 days, right? If you were adding one person a month, I want you to add one person a day into this business. Because I want you to have a December that you've never had before. When DuePoint pays you in December and helps you with the new school shoes for your kids, helps you for school fees, helps you for Christmas presents, helps you for traveling. That's the position I want you to be in. A little less stressed in December, but you have to do it. And you've got 47 days to do it, so get stuck in. Only you can do it. So good luck, guys. Thank you for coming out on the Saturday morning. If you have any questions about the business, come speak to me. If you have any admin inquiries, client service is there to help you. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week, I hope. Thank you.